Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Legends of Another World. So, in the last episode we finished off the Monster Arena side quest. I've just done a couple of things off camera. I refought the Summoner to get the Magic Plus, so that I've got one of each stat plus from this side quest. The Strength Plus obviously is not in my inventory because I used it as soon as I got it. Also, just playing through the game naturally to this point gave me 8 force fields. Not seen here, but it's the item for Aura. So since I had 8 of those, I bought Hoarders until I got another 2. So I could get the Auto Aura ability. I'm not sure I'll ever use that, especially as I now have 4 Auto Walls, but it still felt like the right thing to do. Especially as the steal from Hoarders is the Hyper Elixir. And I think I used to have 40 of those. I've been using them up rather a lot in my recent fights, but 30 is a good number, I think, to have left for the endgame bosses. Also sold some abilities I no longer need. Sold a few of the drops I've been getting from some of the early game enemies I've been fighting in late game. You know what I mean. But I have made sure that I kept, well, made sure, it's just worked out nicely that my money has remained above 3.15 million. Which means that if I were to go for the low-cost ones, the Strength, Defense, Magic or Spirit, I would be able to get 42, one of Namida's favourite numbers. Anyway, I'm going to do my shopping off camera, so I'll cut back in when I've decided what to get. So I decided that because Alicia obviously has maximum strength, extremely high agility, and pretty high luck. I could increase her luck, but that is the most expensive stat item, so that felt like not something I really wanted to do. Harley's stats just aren't much of an issue because he's mainly the healer. Vince, even less so. Amanda has very good magic already, and I don't quite have enough to get it to 255. And even if I did that, I'd be completely neglecting anything else. Ivy's magic is already 255. Anyone could benefit from more HP, except that they're all hitting the cap with HP plus 100%, so it would only benefit them with Ultra HP, and I don't have so many of those. Could have got HP plus to increase Ivy's even more. That also felt like a bit of a waste. So what I decided to do was increase Tara and Liana's stats, because they are... I prefer attacking physically over magic, and they have been lagging quite a bit behind Alicia, to the point that it's felt like most battles have been Alicia solo, with everyone else being a backup. So, another thing was that because they came into this game together, kind of the first 2 party members, kind of counterparts of each other, I decided to beef their stats up equally, or to the point where their stats are very nearly equal to each other. Only Liana is behind on a single point of strength, which I don't really want to give her because she's on 200, which is a nice round number. I've also had another look at... So I have three items left, HP plus, MP plus, Magic plus. Haven't decided... Well, the Magic will obviously go to Amanda. MP doesn't really benefit anyone, but Ivy is the obvious choice, even though she has the 1 MP cost thing, so it's a bit academic, but Yeah, go on. And I'll give the HP plus to her as well, because she nearly always has the HP plus 100% and Ultra HP on, so it would benefit her. Well, you can't even see it there because I have to have, there you go. Boosted her maximum HP just a little. Anyway, the reason I was in the items menu was to show that I've been thinking more about these items. So, obviously, with one of each of these, I was never going to go all the way to another 10. 5 tonics. I have 4 auto regens, so I decided not to bother getting another of those. But I had 6 mirrors, so I did decide to go up to 10 for another auto reflect, because I only have 2 of those. The enemy that gives those is the Meta Transient, so I took the opportunity as well to steal a 10th Softening Sand. It's kind of been bothering me for a long time, but I only had 9 of them. That gave me a little bit of extra money, so although I'm not going to grind, I am just going to take that up to 250,000 and spend that on 1 more agility plus each for Liana and Tara, and then we're calling it a day. The Zolom is the best monster to choose for grinding money. It has the advantage as well of being last in the alphabet and therefore very easy to select. And I only needed to kill 3 of them to get my target. Its drop is the Defender, but I didn't get any. It's a 1 in 5 chance. All of those Alicia items are 1 in 5 from their various monsters that give them. It's, again, rather nice to have the game data in front of me so I can look up statistics like that. So this is a little bit awkward. I'm actually picking up 2 days after the recording you've just watched, and I had recorded quite a bit in those 2 days, which I've decided not to keep for reasons that I will go into. First, I had just talked about the Zolom being the best monster for grinding money. So I just wanted to quickly say, unsurprisingly, the Malcontor, which is the easier version of Molligart, is the best monster for EXP and AP, just for academic interest. Now you may notice that there used to be a character in this corner who is no longer here. And that's because up until today, I had not actually been playing on the final version of this game. So there was one optional boss that Namida had been working on the implementation of, and the character here was for fighting that boss for testing purposes. But in this final version, that boss has been moved to its proper place in the world. However, I had already fought it in part of the deleted footage before I realised that I was not on the final version and needed to upgrade. So you're not going to see that boss in this playthrough, but I am going to do a bonus video on this boss. One reason for that is that now that I have the game data, that doesn't just let me read it, it lets me edit it. And this boss was designed for much earlier in the game, well, kind of towards the end of the main story, so when your party's about level 60 to 70. I would walk all over it with a level 99 party and there would be nothing interesting to see. So I'm going to edit in some events, this is for my bonus video of course, that will allow me to configure the party so you can see what the boss is like with a level 60 to 70 party. I think it still won't be very well balanced, but that will be another interesting thing I can do. I can edit the boss's stats myself and talk about game balancing. Anyway, that will be a bonus video. For now, I just want to say that I have refought the... which one is it? I can't remember. Smashinator, that was it. To get the 4th Ultra HP. And that is the very last thing that I'm doing in the Monster Arena or the outside world. So for now, we're going to Trinity Palace for the remainder of this LP. You might remember this corridor, although I was last here in episode 56, which was over a year ago, but for anyone watching the videos now, you might watch them soon after one another. So, along this corridor there were various events that would stop me if I had not got various key items relating to the defeat of bosses. And now that I have the Azoth dagger from the optional boss I was just talking about, and the Champion's Decree from Doofus, I can now get... I can now get all the way to the end. And we meet little Alicia. Okay, this is going to take us into the very final optional boss fight. So, over the last 2 days I have made some attempts at this. I have recorded some footage of this fight and some talking about my setup in between. So, it may disappoint you that I've decided not to show any of that. Well, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I do respect what Namida has done for this fight. It's just that it doesn't make a very good video. Because the fight is about 20 minutes long, it is luck dependent, and it's kind of hard to motivate myself to fight the boss and talk about it without knowing whether any of what I'm saying is going to be in footage that makes it to the final episode, or whether I'm just going to have to cut all this and start over and say the same things over again. I didn't want to do any of that, so I'm just going to talk now about the setup I have going into this fight. So, its physical attacks cause instant death, so death proof is obviously necessary for my main 4. That does not include Vince, because I'm going to replace him with Tara as soon as he's finished buffing up the party. There is a time limit for this boss. On turn 27 it will use Atomic Blast, which is not the same as the one used by Oblarost and Automanic. It is an attack that does 99998 to everyone, so obviously this boss is meant for after you've done the Monster Arena, unlocked everything, unlocked the ability to buy unlimited stat boosts if you're willing to grind for them. So I'm not sure whether Namida was kind of expecting me to come here with 99999 HP on at least one person. I'm definitely not doing it that way. Now I want to see whether I can make it with my current party, because I've kind of gotten close. So it has 2.5 million HP, the same as Smashinator and the highest of anything in the game. I was able to get it down to about 700,000 in my best attempt so far. Okay, so going back to setup. So, even with buffs, it was hitting Alicia for just over 10,000. That's why I decided to take a break and go back for the 4th Ultra HP. And to be honest, I'm quite glad that happened, because it really did. It really did put a seal of closure on the way that the whole Monster Arena Monster Arena side quest and defeating all those bosses, getting the drops, has just edged up my party's strength to the point where I feel I can take this on. So, 27 turns, I have to do as much damage as I can in that time, so obviously double hit is essential. So Alicia already has basically 5 slots accounted for. I've put damage resist for the 6th just in case it gets a bit lucky with some of its hits. I have that bit more of an edge. But it means I can't have auto haste and auto wall. So what I'm going to do is on Alicia's first turn, she will use a mix combination, which is Invigorant and Sneaky Powder, and that combination gives all positive statuses to the whole party. It does have a catch though. There are only 2 Sneaky Powders. I don't know whether I've used any previously in the game, but I have only 2, and as far as I know, there is no way to get any more. There are no monsters that I can fight with Sneaky Powder as a steal or a drop, so I'm limited to doing that twice in the fight. What else? I want to put Tara in, so I've got this set up for her. Auto Wall is wrong. I'm going to change that for Auto Haste. And Liana has an Auto Haste. Harley should have one as well. I've put one on Vince and he doesn't need it because he will be hasted by Alicia's So the thing is, it has a move called Tornado that simply swaps around all your party members, even with the back row ones, without doing any damage. So when that happens, I want my back 3 to have haste. To make things easier for me in terms of setting things back up. So my actual front 4, obviously, Death Proof, HP plus 100% and Ultra HP. Amanda needs the Ultra damage because she can exceed the damage cap with Disaster. Alicia doesn't really because she can only exceed it by a small amount. And Ivy, she keeps her 1 MP cost and use white magic, but I've taken off use black magic because she's not going to be casting it in this fight. Okay, I think that's about enough about the setup. Let's just get started. You're with them? I don't care. Everything's changed. Only one side were truly bad. The weapons! Why destroy them? Well, there's nothing left for them to protect now. Really? Are you just trying to prove your power? Anything can happen here. The 3rd was just a myth. I can make it real, and take revenge on you, and them, and everyone. At last, Sturges shall be saved. So it really is real. Mythical weapon. So obviously get started on buffing up. Alicia, use your mix. Ivy, charge up for blue magic so you'll be able to use Blessing because I have just put Reflect on everyone. Amanda, just start doing damage. And I'll put an Adrenaline buff on before another Excel because it can quite easily one-shot people with its physical. As you see, it just did there. That was a critical. While it is tempting to just start over, I'm really not doing that. I've had more than enough attempts at this fight. I'm tired of it. So I'm just going to take whatever I get. So Vince put adrenaline back on everyone. Ivy put wall back on Alicia. And now it attacks Amanda, but without killing her. So that little bit of an edge that I got from the adrenaline saved her. Okay, everyone has double agility buff. I don't need to put that on. Just checking. Great. This is, after a bit of a shaky start, this is going well. Now I'll haste Alicia first, because Ivy will get another turn before Mythical Weapons turn, so that will help me to do more damage. Meditate to increase Amanda's damage. Immunize wore off. You may not have seen that at all in this playthrough. I think that what that is it's a state that prevents negative states. It wears off after a few turns. So keep Ivy's health at the maximum at all times, because it has an attack called Roller Blaster, basically the same as Adriol's, except because of its much higher physical power, its Roller Blaster will wipe the entire party except for Ivy. There is nothing I can do about that. It one-shotted Vince because he doesn't have Death Proof. Tara has it, and that's fine because I had just finished buffing the party, so Vince is going to leave now. And time to do a scan. So I know this takes a turn that I could use to do something more useful, but I do always want to see, oh look at that tiny HP she has left. Yeah, I want to see how close I am. So I'm about 1/10 done with the fight. Switch in Tara. Ivy will give her wall. Oh, that's a great start. You'll just have to take my word for it that if Alicia did have ultra damage, she would only just be doing over 9999, so it's not worth my time to put that on, because all the stuff that she actually has is helping her more. Alicia does have very low defense. And obviously one consideration is I could go back to when I put on all the when I made my choices about buying stat boost items. So this is its tornado move. It's basically a free turn for me because it doesn't actually do any damage. It's also an indicator of progress. I mentioned that this thing has a 27 turn time limit. It will use Tornado on every 9th turn. So when you see that, that's 1/3 of the time limit. I know I haven't done 1/3 of its HP in damage, but I've had to spend turns setting up. The buffs are absolutely necessary. Anyway, what I was saying is that I could consider going back to when I was buying stat boosts and making different choices specifically for this fight, so I could give Alicia much more defense. And I don't want to do that. I'm happy with the choices I made. It would feel a bit off to do something specifically for this fight. So I'm glad that Disaster got reflected, as that gave a bit of extra damage. So if Ivy gets the chance, and she does now, just put Reflect back on as many as possible, starting with Alicia, who's Amanda's HP is the lowest. So this is going pretty well for me because it has not yet used Roller Blaster. On turns 9n plus 2 and 9n plus 7, I think. It's some 2 in a sequence of 9. It has a 3 in 7 chance of using Roller Blaster. And obviously that is a horrible thing to see because it wipes out everyone except Ivy. You've got to get them back up, and they've lost all those buffs. It also has an attack called Full Force that just one-shots any party member. We haven't seen it yet, so that's been another stroke of luck as regards this particular fight. Shimmering Rain. Okay, I'm not sure why Tara died to that. But it does take my positive statuses off, so at this point I would... No, I will. I'll do a mix even though Tara's not here. So, Invigorant, Sneaky Powder. Ivy, please get Tara back on her feet. Oh, and that did haste everyone. So I'll use... Oh, I was gonna... Yeah. I was thinking of other healing methods, but of course I can simply use Tara's turn to throw a Hyperlixir. It seems I'm not actually doing all that well, because that's the 2/3 point of the fight. And you can see I'm not even halfway down in terms of damage. So it feels like this fight is going better than others because it's not done some of its worst attacks to me, but in terms of my progress I'm doing worse. Ah, there it goes with its Roller Blaster. And since I didn't even have Ivy in the active party at the time, that's a defeat. Well... what I was going to do was get to the end of the time limit, because on its third tornado it will use Atomic Blast next turn, and then surprise the audience by chucking the eraser at it. But I don't really want to go through the fight again just to do that, so I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to walk away from this and not fight it. I don't need the reward, it's just another meaningless key item. So, I've got to say, Namida, for now at least, you've beaten me on this one. If I can think of a way of defeating it, I'll come back and do that, but for now, I'm moving on. Okay everyone, this is it. This is the point of no return. We'll need to take down the security system. Then we'll all need to fight Lunaris immediately. We'll be able to take a quick break to prepare to fight him, but you won't be able to go away anywhere. And between him and Shion, you won't even get that. We're going to need to do this in one run. The security system, Lunaris and Shion. If we need to prepare more, we should go back and do so now. Are we ready? So it's been a long time since I did the main storyline. So a bit of a recap may be in order. We are trying to take down Lunaris, who's kind of the god of evil of this world, but because of some kind of cosmic balance thing, we can't take him down without taking down the trinity of good gods. We already killed the first two, Yahweh and Taniku. But in typical JRPG style, the third one is quite happy to leave us alone until we come and take the fight to him. And so we get our sequence of final bosses. Everyone, thank you for doing this, and I'm glad I could help you. It's scary to think that I'll be gone too, but the world will be better for it with Lunaris gone. Please protect this world even after this is over. And please always... Dramatic music. Oh, never mind, the security system just came online. How did I get into this again? Oh. So one of the optional bosses I fought much earlier in the game, the Proto-Lock, looked rather like this. I think this is its upgraded version, and that boss gave me a lot of trouble, so this one may be hard. Okay, listen up. Your first target is the pods, and the core is invincible for now, and I wouldn't advise attacking it. The pods are just a minor nuisance. They shouldn't be any threat to us. The core is another story. It's a very nasty piece of work indeed. When it's about to fire, defend, cast shield, do anything you can to protect yourself. Every bit will count. Of course, the core's somewhat prepared to handle you doing that too. Okay. So because I have the same setup as I had for mythical weapon, but because in this timeline, so to speak, I didn't actually do that fight, I still have this mix available to me. Ivy, let's just charge. Amanda, based on what Aisha just said, the core may counterattack if I use Disaster, so I'll use Flare on one of the pods. Okay. Alright, I'll do a scan. Core lock. Nope, not scannable. Counterattacks, but it's very weak. I assume it's going to get stronger when it's actually fighting. Also, yeah, we have quite a few turns before anything happens. Now, I assume A and B are the two pods. So Core Lock itself is not doing anything, and Pod A just went down. Might use one of Alicia's turns to change her setup and give her back the ultra damage. That's also not scannable. I have done one adrenaline. Let's do another. Which of these do I... well, damage resist. Yeah, ultra damage. So it's about to have a turn. And it just does a very weak physical attack. Nice. 2 meditates. Okay, the arms just came online. They're much nastier than the pods. Now would be a great time to equip status protection. Oh dear, status protection. Do you mean multi-proof? Also, it's not going to have any turns for a long time. I'm going to keep attacking with Ivy. Arm C will get a turn before any of the others, so let's do that one. Okay, it has quite a bit of damage reduction. Oops! But I will re-equip Vince and Ivy with multi-proof. Hang on, no, I won't. I will switch in Tara, because what did I just say about wanting Tara and Liana to be more active in this? So Tara, I'll re-equip you with a multi-proof instead of... I don't know. Let's take Death Proof off. We don't know for certain whether it casts instant death. I could look it up in the game data, that would feel like cheating. What was I getting? Multi-proof, it's a green. There. 4 not equipped. I'm just going to assume I can't scan any of them. You know, I will re-equip Alicia as well. Ivy puts wall on Tara. Now I can't remember who has the multi-proof and who doesn't. I know that Tara does. Oh, nice! Yep, definitely a good call to get her involved. Although Alicia's doing a lot, well... No, not Disaster, Flare. Alicia is doing so much more than Amanda at the moment that I'm kind of wondering whether I should switch Amanda out for Liana. But things may change when... Right. Ivy has multi-proof, it will be Amanda that doesn't. Okay, I'll switch Ivy for Liana, why not? She already has the good statuses, that's nice. So let's go for Arne. Re-equip Amanda. That's my last multi-proof, so Liana won't get one. Mega Burst. Okay, it's basically what we thought. It's a bunch of negative statuses. Hey, I have 60 remedies. Okay, so fairly light damage. And that arm's down. Regen is starting to wear off my party members. I might consider swapping Amanda for Ivy just for a bit of healing. In fact, I will once I've taken one more arm down because... Oop, blast away. Okay, that took all our positive statuses off. That's annoying. One arm left. When the last arm falls, two things are going to happen to the core. It's going to become less invincible and less slow. Yeah, I think Protolock did something like that as well. Faint memories are coming back. You can either go all out and try to take it down before it takes you down, or you can just focus on survival. It's unstable once it speeds up. It should break eventually. Okay, I definitely want a healer in the party for this, so welcome back, Ivy. And hey, you've got a lot of turns. So, Haste, Alicia. Don't want to do too much damage to that. Okay. Got my good stats up, I'm ready. Well, I haven't walled Tara yet, but now I have. Okay, physical attacks will hurt the core now, but it's still magic proof. Nothing we can do about that. Well, in that case, I am very, very glad that I decided to boost Tara and Liana's stats. Okay, it's hasted, and we can't do anything about that. It's probably still unscannable. Let's take this down. Nothing I can usefully do with Ivy's turn, so I'll scan it anyway. No, still not scannable. Is there anything I can do? I don't know what kind of attacks it has, so I don't know whether Reflect will do anything. I can put Regen on. Okay, that just took all my stats off. I mean, status. Looks like it's about to fall apart. Okay, that wasn't all that hard. I think I was a bit over-prepared for that because it's, you know, it's not... It's designed to be doable if you haven't gone through the Monster Arena. And I do get 2,500 AP, so now I'll be able to see whether 9999 is the cap. Okay, that's the easy part down. Easy? Yes, now we must defeat Lunaris right away. We've got enough time for any last-minute preparation. Quickly now. Okay. Ha, Saviour's disabled. So, obviously, Fiorona. As for equipment, I think I would like... You know, I don't know what Lunaris is going to be like. I think I would like some of my... well, I'd certainly rather have auto haste than multi-proof. It's not available. Should I go in with this party, which is basically a magic-oriented party? Well, I thought the core lock with a physical party, so why not? But that would mean that you'd have to lose the auto haste. And do I put the third one on Vince or Amanda? I'll put it on Vince so we can get started with them. And since he has a slot, I'll give him auto wall. Oh, Guardians again! Oh, we won't let history repeat itself. Indeed, this time you're going down for good. I like the way that Namida gave Linaris exactly the same voice I did. You poor fools! Even if you defeat me, the Trinity will create me again. As long as Aisha's here, they have to. We have a plan for that. Is that so? I've got some bad news for you. We already got rid of 2 of the Trinity. And once we're done with you, Shion will be next. I love that laugh. Even so, you'll never defeat me. Just watch us. I don't want to do that mix combo because if I do it now, I can't do it in the final battle. Possess. That's going to be the same as that Ray. So it's going to make Alicia attack the other party members. I probably want to knock her out and then bring her back. And since it puts zombie on, that will do. That means Vince is not going to be helpful in this because... Do I want Tara or Liana? Liana has wool, which is at least 1 positive state. Yeah, Vince is not going to be helpful because buffs won't do anything if party members are going to be continually dying and being revived. Oh, it uses Possess as a counter. That's charming. So, what's Amanda going to do? Disaster the party? That sounds horrible, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, its physical is not so bad. Oh, let's just see what happens if I ignore the possession. Okay, basically what I thought. Also, it can cure itself for about 40,000. This is nasty. I can't remember now how much damage I was doing with Disaster. It felt like it was about 20,000-ish. But having to do this is just slowing down my damage output. Okay, it also has that. Which did have the advantage of knocking out my possessed party member for me. Yeah, it's not using Curona every turn, it's just often enough to be annoying. Okay, it didn't possess anyone that time, just an instant death attack. Charming. I can bring her back quite easily. Huh, has it stopped possessing? Leanna's the only one not in haste. Oh, I forgot that Amanda was already possessed, and that's why. Okay, so I'll just get back to this point by myself. See you in a bit. So, I just had another go at the core lock, and it went so much better this time that I decided to redo the fight on camera. It should not take long. So everyone in the front line has multi-proof, the usual suspects basically, and I've used the extra spaces for more of the auto good status abilities. The idea is I won't bother with the mix combination, that way I'll still have 2 sneaky powders left. Can't use those really on Lunaris because of the possession mechanic, but it will be nice to go into Shion with both. So Vince is just going to accelerate and then adrenaline the whole party, and then swap himself out for Ivy, who's going to be the healer. And the others just physically attack whatever the current target is. And it's basically a speed kill strat. I'm not even looking at which arm is the best one to attack. It's quicker in terms of input to pile up on arm A first. So while we're working on the other 2 arms, Ivy will put the good statuses on my party. And now that I know how the fight works, I don't have to re-equip during the fight, so I've already got multi-proofs. Blast Wave is a tad annoying, but all it can do really is take off my haste. And that's core lock done with no items consumed. And I actually forgot to look at this in the last time I was here, but you can indeed have over 10,000 AP. Not that I have anything to spend it on.